Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the behind-the-scenes look at the Anachroschism. We're talking about pretty much everything that's happened since the party arrived in Lycidian, and boy, what a laundry list of things that has been.
Oh my god. So much.
So I guess we should start with the easier things, the things that were shorter, that were quicker, that were more simple. Among them, we started with Tessian and Lena going about and finding a guild and a library and a school, and all those things went relatively well.
Yeah, complete success, by the way. Just Lena, Tessian.
It's true.
Aces.
It's the dream
Did
team.
good.
Mainly Lena carried the team, but it's fine.
At least I did that at some point.
Yeah, things certainly balanced out later, didn't they?
Yep.
So they managed to find the Stratum Guild for archaeology that has an arrangement with them going forward, which might be lucrative. They found that the library has no information about the Conatus of any worth because it's all myths and rumors and nonsense. And then they found that some school children were missing, managed to track them down. The Requisitions Guild had taken them, which is apparently against their code, and that led to some shenanigans, but it's fine. And Tessian found an old friend.
Yeah, I still don't know what's going on with that. There's definitely more to that than, like, we were playing a prank. It's like, no. There's
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Why?
it's not
here.
Yeah, but like, how far can we really dive into that stuff? Like,
not right now, but something to keep I don't know, not an eye on because we're going to be leaving, but maybe remember. Thieves Guild is a bunch of shitty people.
I did tell them, so hopefully they do something with that information.
Time
Right.
will tell, I suppose. And while they were doing that, Grail and Isaac and Karash headed down to the docks, started asking around a bit, gave their hotel room number to a man.
We were also very successful. We got Aurora. We got information. It was the day started off really pretty well.
It did.
We got a location too.
Yeah.
Yep, managed to tail back two of these guys back to at least some location of import. You're not entirely sure what's going on there yet.
yeah, do you guys actually know that she's even there? Because like,
No.
there seems to be the assumption, but like, you
No
haven't
clue.
seen.
Well-
As far as you know, they have it's like a bread warehouse, and they just use it to keep their bread, and
Why
they
would
really love their bread.
Why
And,
would
like,
they
that's-
have guards like on constant rotation?
They
could just
really
be- it
love
could be
their
a-
They
bread.
like
But
bread.
it could just be a barracks as well.
It
Like,
could
there's-
just be a bear. Yes. It could be. I'm
But
hoping.
it's so quiet.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If it was a barracks, it would be noisy, right? People living there. There's something very fishy about it, and the whole like footfall thing. There is something going on there.
And
I
that's
do
why-
think.
That's
I think
why
you're right.
Isaac is like at the point where he's like, fine, you want to fucking play this way? I'll play this way. We have no other options. We're running out of time. I need to blow your brains out and take everything that you know.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I feel like it's like such a a transition from what we've been arguing about pretty much this entire arc, like as Lycidian started, the whole like to kill not to kill thing, and now Isaac's reached his breaking point, I think.
He's reached
And
his breaking point. And
Yeah.
it's like a mini character arc. It's like, what is it going to take, if anything, to get him to change his viewpoint?
yeah,
And
In
this
fairness,
is just-
you did ask the worst philosopher ever if that was a good plan.
It's true.
I kind of wanted, I think, confirmation for what I already sort of knew.
It's true.
Yeah.
If he
But-
wanted that answer, he came to exactly the right place.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this is like what I think is cool about the little D&D storytelling. We obviously have huge story arcs that we're never, we're going to take forever to get to the bottom of. And then there's like mini arcs in there. And I definitely think for Isaac, I wasn't planning this, but it's just kind of how it's shaped out, that like this is his own mini arc of like, what do you believe in? And what are you willing to compromise on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lycidian's actually home to quite a few different, both miniature and overarching arcs, several of which you guys know about, some of which you don't, and some of which you guys won't even encounter until sometime down the road. But if you wanted to come to a city where there was a lot of different things to happen, potentially, you came to the right place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you've really only scratched the surface of the city. You've kind of roamed about some of the major areas near the center, but there's the extremities, there's a whole bunch of other places. So, like, yeah, there's all sorts of things that could go wrong or right here. And most of the day went great. And then the sun
Well-
set.
Let's talk about that. I thought it was a solid plan. I even thought that with some bad rolls it would be okay, but like, yeah, that's just rough. I'm learning that it's really hard to do like scouting missions and stuff that are completely dependent on like one or two rolls to be successful or complete failures, and it really is so scary. That was like the most scared I've been this entire recording. I was like I was like sweating. I was like, this is like an actual manhunt and I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I think it was a good plan. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You made the right calls. But, I mean, there are little things like, honestly, you probably should have thrown her across or something like that. Like, you guys could have given each other assistance to move across.
It's true.
You could have done, like, if it's only a 4-foot gap, you yourself could have just laid across it and let her go. Like, there's all kinds of little ways you could have tried to mitigate like things like that. But I mean, it's in the moment, it's hard to know to do it. But, you know, if she falls, she loses her animal form. That's an entire expenditure of that for the day. There's the concentration on the stealth checks, which would have helped you later. Like, you had so many bad rolls that then cascaded into everything being lost.
The problem too is that I didn't know about any of that. Like, I didn't know that the spell's concentration. I didn't know that she would lose her animal form if she took damage. I didn't know any of that, and so I was like, like, this is minimal. Well, if she falls, she's still a cat. Who cares?
Real wouldn't know that either.
And
so
you don't plan.
Exactly.
You never plan on like rolling a 1. Is basically almost what that would have taken. Is any other roll probably would have been fine for that gap with her built-in acrobatics. But the 1, I mean, you're like, oh, I'm not gonna roll 1. That's crazy. No, yeah. And then it happened 6 times in a row.
But I think this is all absolutely perfect because we're literally known each other for what, 8 days now, 9 days.
That's the thing. That's
so
the other
we
thing.
don't know each other. We don't know our what we can and can't do, what we are and are not capable of. So we're learning. Yeah. We're learning in the situations where maybe not ideal to be learning, but
it's true. And I like that because it is. It's like reflective of the actual time we spent together. And we're all kind of working autonomously, and we're not really working as a team because we're not really a team yet. We all have our own motives and goals, and they're not super synced up yet. I think with the Conatus, like, we'll get there. But at the time, like right now, we're not there. We're not a great, like, well-oiled machine.
Actually, I wouldn't want to be because we all know each other in real life. So it's like, we probably could play this to where we're just clicking on all cylinders, but it's like, why? That's not interesting. That's like those movies where like the characters fall in love right away, and you're like, that wouldn't happen in real life.
We have to earn it. I mean, for the story to actually feel like it's successful at the end. I like it too. I like when things fail, and I also like the repercussions, like how Lena felt, like especially that she's blaming herself. I like that Isaac's hard on her, but also I like that she's taking it hard because now she has this immense pressure to be the leader, and she rolled the 1, and it's like that was what cascaded all the events, and so it's like she's gonna have to like buckle up and get ready for these failures to keep happening, to try and mitigate them best you can and to move forward. And I think that's so important for her character. It kind of needed to happen. I really like when things like that just kind of, the roll of the dice kind of determines what happens. So it's like, it's totally by chance, but then it's actually for the best.
Oh, I love that. I feel like it's a game that's built off of like critical successes and failures. That's what makes each event and occurrence like interesting beyond just the normal storytelling.
Because there's always a chance.
Yeah.
No matter how good you are at something, you can always roll 1. No matter how bad you are at something, or how like you could go up and fight a dragon right now. You could roll a 20. You could hit that dragon. Anything's possible either way, and no matter what, again, like even if you play to people's strengths, there's always that slim chance that things could either go super wrong or super right.
I mean, we might not even be here if it wasn't for a few crits.
Probably not.
So like it's all, and I love it personally. Isaac is mad, but he's not. He's kind of mad at them, but not really. He's mad at himself. He's mad at the situation. He's mad that he wasn't there and he got talked at it. Like, he's not mad at Tessian, but like he wanted to go, and then he thought better of it, and then so he blames himself, and that's coming out as just frustration at everybody. It happens.
Yeah, but imagine if he had gone the additional complication of another.
we would have been
person
fighting.
being there.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, we would
I
have been
would have
fighting.
opened fire. I'm sure.
Yes, you would have.
So as a person, yeah, no, I absolutely agree. But as him,
Yeah.
he's like, I should have been there.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
We may have lost our chance, is what he's thinking.
It's interesting how it works out, too, because even if you had tailed them, it probably wouldn't have changed anything that happened, at least until it went wrong.
Yeah. Oh,
Because you would have been watching them, but
totally.
they still would have done the thing, and then she falls, and then, so now you're there, you can chip in, and it changes things, but it only changes it after the point it's reached critical mass.
Yeah.
So before that went down, we also had another incident where after you guys set up that successful meeting with Aurora, you had her come down, and as you guys had what I thought was a pretty well thought out situation. You just kind of stationed yourself throughout the bar area and had multiple eyes on places, especially the person who could relay messages without other people knowing, so that seemed great. Had a good conversation with her. Tessian won some money. Things were going fine. And then
my rival showed up.
Then Grail went to go talk to someone.
Yeah, so, I mean, this fucking clown just hanging out in the goddamn bar, like he owns the place, and it's like, this is not cool. He's staring directly at Isaac, like clearly there's something going on there. Isaac tells me to distract him. So, I tried, and Grail is not a very seductive person, and she's very naive, and so that was great, too, that it was so awful. I thought that was, like, perfect for her character. Yeah, that was a total shit show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it went from bad to worse, essentially. But, see, to me, I think D&D is more interesting in failure. Not that successes aren't fun, too, but you need both, to me.
So, I'm curious, though, like, if I'd rolled well, what would have happened with that guy? Like, would he still have been pretty, like, get the fuck away from me, but maybe not pulled a gun? Like, I'm just curious.
I won't go into super detail about it because some of that you guys are going to have to earn down the road at some point if he comes back. But the short answer is there were ways you might have been able to distract him, but there's also a reason why you were rolling with disadvantage for that.
That's true.
And it wasn't Grail's own shortcomings. That's evident in the roll itself, but it was because of some other influences here that...
Okay, that's right. I forgot that I was rolling with disadvantage on that.
Yeah, and you rolled a 2 and a 1, so it wasn't like it mattered.
No, it did not matter at all.
So there were some outcomes there where you could have at least gotten his attention off of him for a while, or maybe even something more if the rolls had been big enough, but you were not super likely to succeed at it.
And then Isaac was operating off of this really whole trip. Anything that comes to his dad, he has this feeling of like invincibility. And he still does a little bit. He hasn't entirely abandoned that, I think. Because again, that guy absolutely, I think very clearly could have killed him and didn't. But now he's thinking of his friends and he's like, "What? I'm confident, I think, that he's not going to do anything to me, but I don't know about the people that I travel with." And that was kind of a turning point for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
To maybe not be so risky.
Yeah, and then there's Tessian. That was kind of not shocking, but I was surprised that he was so adamantly just like ready to judge, jury, executioner this shit.
I mean, we don't really get into a lot of this stuff, but like these are like regular citizens. Like Tessian's, it's like his thing. Like he's very big about that stuff. We haven't really got into it, but like other than what we did that first mission where like children were kidnapped. Why is it always children? But like, I don't know. I think
they're exploitable.
I guess. I don't know. It's not just like, oh, these are innocent people. Like, Tessian takes his station very seriously. And, like, people opening fire on civilians is something that he's just... If he's present for it, no, he's not. No. Like, it's not going to fly. He won't allow that to happen. Like, he does feel personally responsible in some regard for that. So, I mean... We don't get into that a lot because we're usually off running around doing dick all in the woods. But, you know, there's, you know, now that we're in civilized areas, we might see more of it. But I think we're going right back out into the boonies. So who knows?
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have seen any kids for a while, except you stumbled upon another thing where there was a kid involved. If not for that, this may not have come up at all, or it might not have been much later, and it would have been a little while between kid threatenings. But as it turned out, here we are again, child in danger.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping for is like an assault coming up, and I think this is good because this while I love it, this our time in Lycidian has been diplomacy and stealth, neither of which Karash is particularly skilled at. And so I'm hoping full-on assault on a base to save kidnapped individuals is like right up Karash's alley.
I will say.
I'm gonna intervene on my own behalf here and say, I don't think there's been a situation in which I have attempted to do something as far as I guess not quite politics, but human engagement, interfacing with other people. That has not actually gone very well for me. It's just that on average, that's not what I seek to do when it comes in any situation. So. Whenever it's been broken down, it's been like Tessie and Atlanta who are going to go try and find information or something, and then you two are going to go be Action Jack, and I'm like, well, yeah, I want to go do the action.
I kind of, I really like Karash's character so much, and I feel like we're like not letting him utilize his strengths in this particular arc, and that really frustrates me. And I want him to be in the team, but like also it's like logically we're like, like it's limiting sometimes with his armor and like stuff like that. But I want him to like, I want him to be more active in our team. It's nothing you're doing at all, Mike. Like you're doing everything. I know. I'm just saying. Like I want him to be more part of it because it's more fun. I love when we all interact with Karash, and there's been like a lack of it, I would say, in these last few episodes. So.
There are moments where I can see a way into doing this, that, or the other thing, depending on where we are and what we're doing. And then oftentimes what happens is somebody steps up and does something else before I get a chance to. And I'm like,
I know.
Oh, we're doing that now.
I know. And I just feel bad. I don't like to keep stepping all over your ideas. And so I think I actively need to take a step back and let you have some of the limelight as well.
I know it's all a matter of context because when you guys are interacting and then something happens, like even if I've planned for something, if the thing that's going to be the thing that makes me go, okay, now I can go do. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So I'm just kind of like hanging out and be like, all right, that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay because I like how this ended with the two people with probably the least total amount of D&D experience doing their own adventure. Like you two were driving it and it was just you. It didn't go well because it's dice and that happens, but it was still your driving stuff. It's your reactions. We're not trying to paint it or persuade you to do one thing or the other. And I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I actually had a lot of fun doing that too. It's fun to just like steer an entire like operation, and I've never done that before because I tend to play with way more experienced people and they tend to take the reins, and that makes a lot of sense. But it was fun to do a little team up with Lena, and it didn't go well. But I think what Jason was saying, I thought it was a pretty solid idea. It
was a good idea. I effed it up by falling off a roof.
I was gonna say the rooftops weren't a bad idea either. They just were the thing that caused everything to go south, as it turned out. But I mean, conceptually, it was fine.
Yeah.
But it's also totally appropriate because Grail has never been to a big city before like this, and then Lena, as far as we know, hasn't either. So neither one of you are like, cat burglars or anything. Whatever your talents may be, you're not. This is a rather.
She was a cat.
When you guys were running,
a foreign situation.
That was my nightmare brought to life. So that was very, literally, and it's always in the nightmare. I don't know when to it's always a debate. Should I keep running or should I try to hide? Because if I keep running, I think maybe I can get away eventually. But if I hide, that's it. It's either going to work or it's not. And if it doesn't work, I'm right there. And I was living through all of this while you guys were doing your thing, and it was horrific, truly.
It was truly scary. Like, that is definitely the most stressed out I've been playing this game. But I thought it was great. Like, cinematically in my head, like picturing it was really cool.
What I thought was interesting, I agree with that, first of all. Like, I thought there's some good, like, mental imagery going on there. What I thought was interesting, and just to go behind the curtain a little bit, was the fall happened, and Lena hit the ground, and then flew back up, and the guy kind of saw her, and I thought, well, they still have an out here, even after all this. If they leave right now, they're going to be in fine shape. And you guys were like, we're going to set up shop again. I'm like, well, that guy went to go tell his friends. So
in my thought, the reason why I did that was because I was afraid if we were like, well, let's just get down, it would be that weird moment where it's like the second we hit the bottom of the ladder, the door's opening. I could just see it in my mind's eye, and so I was like, I think the best bet is to stay put. And so I did. It did not pay off, but it is what it is. I took a gamble.
I mean, what's more interesting though, like watching a scouting mission where you're just going to get information go perfectly well, or abysmally bad.
Yeah.
And it definitely bad. But you still learned so much. You learned there was again 2 different people, so there might be as many as 6 in that room. We learned they're willing to leave that point of operation, chase you guys, and the footsteps and like all of that they actually do talk. So you learned maybe even more than you would have had it gone well.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it worked.
Yeah, it did. For all intents and purposes, it worked.
And now we have a plan based on the failure. So like that, that's great.
Yep.
So the thing I want to know then, just kind of from each of you, at least you can answer short, long, whatever, is what do you think your chances are of success?
I think it's low.
And is it higher or lower than when you first got here?
Higher.
Lower. Oh.
Higher.
See, this is why I'm wondering.
Well, okay. Maybe I misunderstood the question a little bit. When we first got here, I thought it's like a needle in a haystack. We're gonna find no leads. We're gonna have no information. And I mean, it's gonna be pointless. And so
did you know, because like Chris, he has these things orchestrated. He's not gonna just send us to Lycidian and be like, we have no leads.
Nothing against Chris, but like if. It wouldn't have been a bad thing had he been like, this is a huge city. The father is very careful, and it's going to take a couple strokes of luck to find what you're looking for. And that wasn't really the case. We did get somewhat lucky, but it wasn't like 3 crits in a row to find out the information to start with, like at Dunas' place. So higher in that sense. But yeah, I mean, things could have gone better for sure.
I just think like, with the sheer number of those guards, I think they're pretty damn powerful. I'm really nervous about going on an all-out fight with them. I don't know if we can hang. I don't know what their level is like. It just seems like a really tough battle if we were to go for it. So I'm nervous.
I think our odds are I thought when we moved into the town, our odds of finding her were absolutely terrible. Like I just like, we're probably going to screw this up somehow and never find her. Now I think we have a chance of finding her, but she'll be dead by the time we do. I just don't think, I feel like in the situation we're in, we've got a building we know has got at least a handful of hostiles inside of it. And so our best bet is to try and sneak in, but sneaking really isn't this group's forte necessarily. Several of us are good at it. It only takes one person to screw it up. And then once we're in, like, we got to, neutralize whomever we find inside, hope she's inside, hope nobody escapes and can run away, and reveal who we are to whomever they work with. It's like, oh, there's so many dominoes here.
Well, that's why I'm hoping the plan is to find out information first. And and it might not go as planned. It probably won't. But if we can find out information, we might find out she's not even here, like we were talking about to begin this. It might be fucking barracks, and that's it. But then they might know where she is being kept. So, I mean, there's a lot of things at play right now. I'm hoping we can gather intel first and then make whatever bad decision we're going to make after that.
Inevitably.
To answer Chris's question, I do not think our chances are higher. I think they are lower when you consider the fact that we could have gone out, got experience, figured out what's going on with the Conatus, increased our own personal power, and potentially how much we are worth to other people, gained allies. Then we could have made a move. That move would have been more powerful, would have meant something a bit more. We would have had more tools in our toolbox. I think our chances were much higher putting this off and not doing anything. Now we're here. Now things have gotten worse. Now she could be moved or dead. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't even think you found her. But
weren't we on a timeline originally? Wasn't there some sort of an issue with regards to how long it was going to be before he was done with his project, which was what made our decision for us?
Weeks.
Like a few weeks. Which way I think even if we I think either he's dead or she's dead, because like even if we fail now, he'll do something, he'll speak up, he'll get killed, yada yada yada. I think it's all done, and I think Tessian was relegated to that fact a while ago. Honestly, I've had a lot of fun not doing anything this session, having Tessian just be hands off, because watching everyone else muck about and do things has been fun.
I hope we succeed. I do. I think there's a lot that can be gained from failing, and I think if we do fail, whether we succeed or fail, it's going to be a moment where we come together a little bit more, I think. And I think both have the power to serve as a catalyst for that. I hope we do succeed, because we've had so many failures lately. It sure would be nice. And I don't know. I think it would be good for...
I agree. I think even Tessian would like this to all work out. He does not have any kind of hope that that's going to happen. And I mean, I still think Tessian's going to plan to go to this arena fight. He's still going to plan to, we got to meet people in the morning. Like, there's all these other things that he thinks are more important to the long-term goal, to where, depending on how you guys do this, I don't even know that I'll be there for this big fight that you guys want to have to get her out, which is just another tool you don't have. So I don't know.
I'm going to work on that.
I like that there's this conflict though too, where for a couple of us it's simply a moral imperative. Like, we don't care about anything else because it's a wrong thing and we need to make it okay. And then there is this other like, well, like, this is bad, but this isn't like the worst thing. But it's also a pretty bad thing, but it's not the worst thing. Because there's that level of like, we might be making a terrible series of choices here, but at the same time, like, even just me as a person, like, if I was Karash, I'd be like, yeah, that's not cool. Like, maybe we can't do anything. Maybe we just go end up talking to the Crusaders and going, hey, guys, you could look out for this little girl and see if you see her. That'd be great. Like, we poked. We couldn't find anything. Yeah. But I don't know. It's nice because I like that there's a little bit of a fight with it. Because I think we're all, like, genuinely nice good characters, I guess. I'm not going to... I don't want anybody to be spoiling what their actual alignment is, but it doesn't feel like any of us are like quietly evil and trying to destroy the whole, or foil the system. Okay, mostly not evil.
I hope, I really do hope, and this is just me being honest. I'm not trying to persuade Chris to do anything. I hope that we succeed or fail, and that it's clear. What I would like to not have happen is like, oh, well, we just didn't find her. She's out there somewhere. Maybe we'll come across her at some point. Who knows? But like, I would rather find her dead as myself, not my character. But like, I would rather get the hard fail than be like, well, it was all for nothing in a sense. Maybe that's honestly, just me.
I think I would like Tessian to be present for that success or failure, and not even from a like, he could rub it in your face, but like he could be like, hey, you actually did it, like, good job. But like, I also feel like we're at this weird impasse where I don't know that he cares enough to do it. I think that's a little unfortunate, but I guess we'll just have to see how it goes.
The thing, again, to tip my hat, I'm not going to play on don't you care about this girl. I'm going to be like, don't you care about Lena? And that's how that's how the manipulation is going to go. And we'll see if it works or not. But
I mean,
agree.
It might not.
Absolutely. The yes or no is huge.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't say anything, but what I will say is there will be a clear outcome.
Probably just so we're not dicking around here for another 3 months.
Exactly.
I mean, that is certainly a
Really
meta.
close. I can feel it.
There is certainly a meta part of that is true, but I'll just say that the events that happened on this day have made sure that there's going to be a clear outcome.
Oh, good.
She's just going to be hanging from the ceiling.
Super dead.
And that's all I'll say, because you'll have to find out what happens next time. Any parting thoughts for this particular series of episodes?
I liked them a lot. From the beginning to the end of this arc, I think it's the strongest stuff that we've done so far. We may have had higher highs at other parts, but like as a whole, I've really enjoyed it.
I think Falstock had a lot of high highs, but there were also certainly plenty of times where you guys were just kind of mulling about in the sewer.
Right.
which was fine.
Yes.
But they did kind of have like the weird pacing to it where it's like, oh shit, this whole thing's going down the manor and now we're going to hide in the sewer and there's this weird vision. And so like it was different than this to a certain extent. So I kind of agree.
And the Shard maybe coming back. That's a whole thing too. I enjoy him. So
I love him.
yeah, I enjoy him. Isaac, I don't know how he feels, but
Probably not thrilled.
Myself and Grail both love the Shard.
yeah.
All
I'm
right.
still confused why we're continuing to allow what appears to be an evil sword entity around us, but that's fine. I don't ask questions.
Hey, look,
Look, if he's helpful, I don't give a shit.
he said nice
I
things
know.
that one time.
I'm like, can we have him in this potential fight against these guards? Because like another person would be fantastic.
Look, Tessian's interested to see where this guy goes and what he does. He thinks he's something of an oddity. That's part of the reason why he wants to go to this fight and see how it goes, but you know.
Yep.
So that's the inside scoop for Lycidian so far. We'll see how that all resolves in the next set of episodes. As always, thank you for watching. We'll plug a little bit since we don't do it much on the regular show. You can find us at the spots at the bottom of your screen. That's our Twitter and our Facebook. The website, where the bulk of the content is. The one thing that's not on there is our YouTube channel, but you're probably already on it unless you're watching an embedded player. So you can check the YouTube channel out too. We're doing like Persona 5, and that's cool. You know, the usual. And if you have any questions or comments about how things have been going so far, obviously leave them, and some of / all of us will probably respond to them. Some of them will be snarky. That's just the way it goes. Anyways, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.